Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Pav, the Racing VTuber and an artist. And today we're going to be working a little bit more on the comic page over here. Oh goodness, it's been like, what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks actually, because I remember that in the week leading up to the... No, wait, no, it's definitely been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since I last worked on the comic page proper. Right, so let's get back into it. I think, yeah, this panel's pretty much finished. We're cool with that, but... Yeah, this is the next one, alright. I'll just make up a new shade color for this, right? We don't have an established one, so that's fine. At least I'm pretty sure we don't. We might, and I might just be tweaking. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we're good. I'm interested to see if like all the random stuff I've been doing, hang on, in preparation for the. I always like to say that there's no such thing as like a truly wasted effort, right? No matter what you do, as long as it's like not the same thing you've always done, it will create some manner of benefit for you, I think. Whether that benefit is intangible or not, or even imperceptible or not, that remains to be seen. But I'm sure that doing all that like item art during the lead up to the auction must have given me some kind of additional brain development. I'm certain of it. It must be the case. I feel so smart and impressive and big brained. I feel like I should be wearing glasses. Wait, I am wearing glasses. I feel like I should be wearing like very round glasses, nerdy glasses. Recently I saw this. I didn't hear. Okay, so there's this one artist, a rapper called MF Doom, and I didn't really know about him until like I became an adult. I'm not one of those guys who like heard about MF Doom in his teenage years. But I saw that, but like it has a lot of very clever wordplay. The raps that this guy writes. I'm really glad that I managed to like hear it in a time when my English skills developed enough to understand most of the things he's saying. The other day, though, I did read this tweet where somebody was like, "I could this music is making me smarter. I can feel my IQ growing," and it's like a verse from like a rather silly verse from the MF Doom rap. I don't know. Sometimes you do hear music like that. Like the cool thing about music is that most of it will suck, or more specifically, most of it will not be something you want to listen to. Statistically speaking, you're more likely to run into music you don't really care for rather than music you do care for. There are rare exceptions, and honestly, those people should be applauded because we need people who are like hype folks, right? People who go to bat for like indie and and like bands that aren't as popular or bands that should be more popular but aren't for some reason. I think as long as you're either making something or supporting something, you're trying to like add to the world. I think you're doing great. I do sincerely think that that's the case. But yeah, sometimes you hear like one album, and maybe sometimes it's not even an album you expect to like or something that you like knew about earlier. But it's very nice to find something new that you really enjoy. I don't know. Music is really cool. I'm really excited. Well, no, that's a lie. I'm kind of scared about like trying to make some myself, but I think it'll be an exciting journey for me, given that now I've committed myself to seeing it through. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a lot kind of like how I learned, quote unquote, learned how to 3D model, and like I know some rudimentary stuff, and now I can just like make a 3D model. Maybe now if I just like need to make a song, I can just like more or less figure out how to do it. I think that'll be a good end goal. It's just knowing how to make, just having like that hyper functional knowledge. I don't know. Maybe that's not ambitious enough. That might be what I'm lacking, some kind of ambition. I'm not expecting to get good at it, so maybe that's why I don't succeed. You know, like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know. For the time being, I think the best plan of action is to just put my money where my mouth is and start. But not yet. I still have a few other, what do you call, things to take care of before I really embark on that. I'll probably get like Reaper or something with my next paycheck. The folks at Reaper are very kind, and they release a so if you're a streamer yourself, you've probably heard of like the Reaper plugins that most people use as like voice filters. At least I use them. Most people that I know use them. If you don't use them, check them out. They're very good. They're they're probably better than the stock ones that OBS comes with. They're a little bit more customizable, and if you tune them just right, you can make your voice sound funny, like you're talking through a walkie-talkie, like I am right now. So yeah, that's why I feel like even if the music making thing doesn't work out, throwing a little bit of money at the folks who made the plugins is still a noble cause. You know, I owe those guys, so it's good that I can properly support them this way. Ooh, hang on, this works. This works pretty good too. Okay, then grab this. Then over here, put a little bit of shadow on those pants. Me at the Hot Topic when they ask which Sonic character they want me to print a patch out for. I did hear that recently that apparently it's like the year of Shadow over at Sega. I'm wondering what the implications of that will be. You know, does that mean we will finally get a remake of Shadow the Hedgehog (parentheses 2005) cult classic video game that has like 300 endings for some reason? Did anybody ever figure out like what the difference is between those endings? Like I think like it's like very much like a permutational thing, right? Like there's no way they made like 300 plus individual unique endings. There's no way they did that, right? Like they're only slightly different for each ending, right? Like you're not telling me some maniac at Sega was like, "Hey guys, you know what would be really funny if I did?" Right? Like that's not the case. Please, somebody tell me that's not. Hang on, let me Google this. I need to. Now I'm a little worried. Shadow the Hedgehog endings. Okay, no, never mind. I missed. Okay, so my bad. There's not 300 endings. There are 10 endings. Hang on. Shadow the Hedgehog. Data credits. Each single player completes story mode. The story progression is saved in the library option. Hang on. Blah, 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 blah. How many endings? Wait, okay. 10 endings. Oh. Wait a minute. Human 5. Aren't you that guy that was annoying during the auction sale? In any case. I was talking about Shadow the Hedgehog. Right. So no, there's only like 10 endings. There's actually 326 possible story sequences in the game though. And each of them has like a unique name. So that's again, more reasonable, but no less insane, I think. Also, human, I missed your full name because like my pop up is very small. If you aren't that guy, I'm sorry that I called you that. My apologies. The things that guy said just really left a bad taste in my mouth, so don't take it personally. Right on. I was adding shading to these hands. Let's see. No, that's like too red. It needs to be like darker, but not as red. There we go. That's fine. Wait, I literally have shading. Yeah, there we go. I have shades for this in other panels. Okay, add this here. Add a shadow for this one. You know, now that we're playing like Homestuck music and whatnot, it's kind of crazy to me that the other day somebody pointed out that Homestuck has now been over for longer than it was active, which is kind of nuts to me. I remember, like, it didn't fully click until like I remember that that Act 7 happened in like mid or late 2016, and you know I remember it because like I read about it somewhere else. Like somebody said like, "Yo, dude, Homestuck ended." I'm like, and I hadn't caught up with the comic in like ages and ages, and I'm like, "What do you mean Homestuck ended? That shit was supposed to be eternal." God. It really cannot be overstated just how influential Homestuck was to like my whole shit as a creative. It probably shouldn't have been. Listen, I will be the first to admit that Homestuck had its flaws, but I cannot overstate how important that a comic was to me for so many years. But pretty much everybody involved has moved on to bigger and better things by now. Except Hussey, who remains haunted by the specter of the thing they created. But you know that's kind of their cross to bear. Okay, put this here. Okay, add some shadows here. And one here. There we go. Put this one here. Actually, I feel like the shadow on this one would curve a little more. I mean, the shadow here would be a little bit lower. Let me see if I can't just kind of... And, oop. Yeah, that works. I will say, one of the things I do regret about Homestuck is that for a long time, and make fun of me for this if you will, I was a naive child. For a long time, I thought like the Homestuck discography was like the most banger bits of music ever conceived. Like that was like all that was on my music player is just like it was just the entire Homestuck discography. That was like through years 12 through no, definitely later than 12. Like I want to say like 13 through 14. I just lived like that. I was like in the fucking Plato cave allegorically. Thankfully, later I discovered good music. Well, no, I discovered better music, different music. I don't know. Somebody's like top 10 playlist might still be like exclusively Homestuck biography, Homestuck discography pieces. Excuse me. So I really shouldn't judge it as harshly as I do, but I don't know. There's something about Homestuck that makes me want to like punch it down every single time I bring it up, and that's unhealthy. I really shouldn't do that. Unfortunately, it's also very easy. I don't know. There's this weird thing where, like, I feel like for a long, long time, you had to like self-flagellate to justify being a Homestuck fan. Now people are more chill with it. Surprisingly enough, I think like given given the time after the fandom reached its, shall we say, critical mass, people started to see the merits of the series more kind of on like their own terms. Kind of like how people were like, I don't, I can't, okay, I swear to God, there's been like recent examples, but like, a series where like the fans were super annoying, but the show itself was just like kind of all right. It was made worse by the reception, by like the madness and hysteria that the show induced in its audience. That's more or less what happened, I think. So like, I think for a long time you had to be like, yeah, but yeah, it was kind of like insane, but like I really like this series, but I'm not like one of those fans. It was kind of like that. But like I said, I think most people have moved past that by now. Now we have like valid criticisms of what it was like. You know how it is. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Okay, then over here. Okay, then add this over here. Okay, add this over here. More helmet shading. Gotta go faster. Gotta. I really, really want to be able to lock in and finish this comic before the end of the month. I feel like I have to do it, otherwise it'll drag out until June, and I am not prepared for that. I want this thing done. It has spent long enough time in the oven. The timer has beeped. It is time for it to be unleashed. Literally, Raph is probably gonna need to start posting pages from issue 2 very soon. And if I don't lock in and finish this shit within the next, I mean, what is this, page 10? Within the next 9 weeks, we are boned. I need to remember that the light is coming in from behind Hawk. Okay, then Next part is gonna be. What should we draw? What should we shade in next? Probably the jetpack, huh? Maybe the goggles. No, actually, it doesn't shade the goggles. Oh wait, no, I do have the goggles shading color though. Yeah, that works. God, I remember we were looking back at the first comic with Raph a little while back, and I had to explain that the reason that Hawk's goggles did not have the red lenses in this issue but not in the last issue is because in the last issue I did it in all black and white and I shaded in Hawk's lenses with black. So that's why we didn't know earlier. Or rather it didn't appear until later. Hmm. Yeah, I went thrift shopping with my friend today. Pretty good time. We ended up embarking on this quest. We found like this VHS tape with what I think is what is supposed to be like a CNN special news report called like Born Bad. So the thing is, right, we had no idea what it was. And when we tried to look it up on the internet, we didn't get any results for it either. So we don't know what exactly this VHS tape is about. I'm guessing, like I said, my guess is that it's like some kind of like CNN's like special report that was recorded and later added for like home use, something like that. That's my best guess. But we straight up do not know what this is about because there's no information for it online. So now we bought the tape. Well, I bought the tape, and now we're embarking on an adventure to figure out like what the hell is on it. I'm hoping to hit up my library and see if maybe they still have like a VCR or something. Because Lord knows I don't know how to hook up VCR up to a computer screen. At least I'm pretty sure I don't know. Who knows? I might have a natural instinct for it or something. The chances of that are pretty slim, though. So at this point, I might as well rely on the library. The library is pretty cool because, like, in addition to just having free books that you can check out anytime, you can ask the staff there. Obviously you need to ask politely, but you can pretty much ask the staff there anything, and they will try to help you. They are interested in helping you. And I think that's pretty cool. It's nice to feel like the like it does genuinely feel like it's a place of learning because of that. Like everybody wants to help you find out what you want to find out. The other day I saw like a bunch of these like Soviet public wellness posters. I'm gonna call them. They weren't exactly propaganda. They were more like just things like if you like take kids outside while they're after like during breaks in their education, it will make them healthier. And one of the ones that I really liked from that series was this one that was like what was it called? Like, do you have interests? The library has books that will meet those interests. Something like that. I'm like, hell yeah, brother. Like like the guy who wrote that poster was so right. They do have things that meet my interests. Not to mention free printing, which is what I mainly use it for. But hey, as long as it's getting used, it should be no problemo. Speaking of printed stuff, I did make a purchase today while thrift shopping that will be quite fascinating for a stream in the future. So I hope you all look forward to that. I know yesterday I was literally whinging and moaning about not trying to like plan anything big anytime soon. But listen, sometimes opportunity falls on your lap and you need to be able to commit. I think that's in part what like luck is, right? Like to some extent, yeah, luck is just like being able to say and to be at the right place at the right time. And that's not really something you can influence. But I do believe that a certain degree of present mindedness can, when executed correctly, is indistinguishable from luck. Having a decent reaction time, being able to recognize opportunities, in a way, that is your own ability to create the luck that you need. At least that's my belief. I'm somebody who considers himself very lucky in a lot of different regards. But I think I've talked about that before as well. Yeah, what else did I get at the thrift store? I did get myself some brand new knickknacks. I got myself like one of those like really sad dog statues. Those like basset hound picture drawings / statues where the basset hound looks absolutely dejected. Like it looks like such a wretched beast. I got myself one of those. Do we have anything else we need to shade? I think the jetpack is pretty much done. I guess maybe like something like this might be good. May thinner. Yeah. One of the more surprising finds on the thrift store was a book that was something like The Complete Home Doctor. And when I cracked it open to take a look inside, I was deathly worried that it would be straight up like, oh yeah, no, modern medicine is all bullshit. Just use homeopathic stuff, bestie. I was really worried it would be like something very anti-intellectual like that. But no, it was like a layperson's guide to like different diseases and the symptoms of it, as well as like how to navigate some of those symptoms. I'm like, damn, this is like genuinely useful. I don't know. It just felt nice to be able to. It just felt very refreshing to see like something that wasn't just like very obviously written to like fool people and was in fact like a very useful reference guide. Of course, it's entirely possible that the information in the book itself was outdated. But you know what? Even so, I appreciate its purpose and intent. It's kind of like old Bill Nye the Science Guy videos, right? Like some of the science in that is outdated, but in fact, it was made with the intent for you to learn something and to interest you in learning things, and in that regard, it is quite successful. At least that's what I think. But yeah, we also got to see like a bunch of the old. I love the technology section of a thrift store because it usually has like some very 80s or 70s kind of technology to it. Like we saw this one really chunky alarm clock that looked so retro, and I loved it to death. It was such a cool little gadget. I'm very easily suckered and amused by objects that have like a retro feel to them. In a different life, I definitely would have been one of those guys who had a wallet that looked like an NES. In another life, being like the one where I was born like way earlier than when I was actually born, on account of the fact that like NESs weren't a thing. But even after I was born, I think like by the time I was born, the NES is already on its way out. So that's why I don't have any particularly fond memories of it. It's because I'm too much of a zoomer to actually remember the NES era. It's gonna be. We're already seeing like bits and traces of it, right? Like the kind of what shall we call like the fact when like the youngest generation of humanity is no longer the youngest generation, like that's a constant thing. But like the thing is, there's like I want to say like a 5 year or so gap where each generation is like the predominant pop culture thing, right? For people who were born like before 2000s, it was like I want to say like 8 years ago or something, right? About now, I don't know. Like that was the kind of point where like people were complaining about like, oh, this is what the modern child is like, and like now that mantle is being passed into Gen Alpha. I hope they're ready for it. It was rough being the new kid on the block, so to speak. But yeah, we are like 3 or 4 years out from some dude who was born in like 2002 being like, well, back in my day, we are like that close to that being a reality. Hell, that guy might already be here, and we just haven't been paying attention. That's possible as well. We need to lower the hardness on this. Hmm. I think the issue with my issue with this one is that it's too saturated. It needs to be a little bit, yeah, a little bit more muted like this. Hmm. A little bit of this and a little bit of this. Yeah, I think that this might be the better choice. Not just like making it directly like the base color, but like a lighter version of the shadow. I think that might be this might be the way to go. Maybe even with like the brush, and then over here we can where underneath the computer should be, we can have like actual shadow. For this. It's a little too dark. Let me bump that up. Ah, screw it. Good enough. I don't think people will be paying a whole lot of attention to like a single leg on the table. Frankly speaking, I don't know. Maybe people do pay attention to that. I'm just trying to not be picky. Okay, then over here we're gonna have this, and then just kind of. I wonder how easily we could like trace a path of this. I remember using a fisheye lens for this. What do you call panel? So maybe it'll be not particularly difficult. No, wait, that would make it more difficult, wouldn't it? Hmm. Put this over here. Did I just flip? I forgot that I had a button to flip the canvas. I forgot that I made that hotkey. Whoops. That would have been useful a long time ago. Well, what's done is done. Let's see. Put this over here. Okay, then maybe we can use this darker color for this pole here. Maybe I can also just like very subtly, yeah, just like that. Add something there. Wait, hang on. Well, huh? Interesting. Is it weird that I think that this one looks a little better? Hang on. Oh, hang on. This might be exactly what I needed. I don't need like. Hang on. Oh wait, I can just use a pen. There we go. Now I can use this as almost like a spotlight, just to like make sure that it's isolated and it looks more obvious that the hawk is being cornered. Yes, let's go. Let's see. After this, it would be page 12, then page 13, then 14, then 15. There's quite a bit to go. Well, I'm not going to think about all that just yet. For the time being, the most important, the best thing that I could do for myself is just lock in. The other day, I think one time, like, whenever we watch a fighting game tournament, whenever we want some guy to win, we always say like, okay, brother, I need you to lock in. If you never heard the phrase before, it just means to like, locking in just means getting serious, right? It's like no longer being relaxed. It's I guess no, I guess taking the situation seriously and trying to like be at peak performance. That is the essence of locking in. That is like what the ideal of locking in is to me. I may be misusing the phrase since I only heard it from others using it after all, but that's what it means to me. It just means like making sure that you're, in Spanish, in at least with my family, we have like this phrase that's like ponte pilas, which means like stand, pay attention, or like it literally means like, I think it literally means something like put in your batteries. I think her shoulder might be a bit too big. Let me narrow that down a little bit. Let me try something. There we go. Yeah, the tiny shadow at the bottom doesn't make any sense. Okay, then add a small little thingy here. Nah, shaking the hand like that doesn't work. Gradient shading, you and I have got to stop getting back together. There's something so tempting about like just shading everything with gradients, but that's not the way to go. I know it. I can't explain how or the why, but I just know that it's not the way to go. So there's something very non-committal about like shading using just gradients. Okay, there we go. I think it'll also make more sense as I go along shading additional parts to it. So I think that might be the right choice. Something I've been meaning to do at some point is to create additional announcement. What do you call announcement thumbnails? Because I've been using the same art stream thumbnail for the past 3 years. I mean, it's time I freshened it up a little. Gave it a few more specifics, you know? I don't think that would be a bad idea. Certainly, it would be rather refreshing. Okay, add this. Hawk's arm needs to be a little bit shorter, I think, for it to make sense to me. I think I could add like slightly darker shadows to this part here. We should be allowed to get away with that, I think. No issues noted. Well, maybe I should make it even darker. Just so it's a little bit differentiated from the mine here. Now, conversely, this one needs to be a little bit lighter. Let's blend that together real quick. I didn't shade the gun in the third panel. I'm a fool. I also don't think I shaded the jetpack's golden parts. Let's see. Okay, then over here. Then over here. Over here. All right. Then I think now what we need to add is the Bende dots. Darken. Add this here. Frequency. Bump that down. Bump that up a little bit more than that. And I also need to bump up the luminosity. There we go. Maybe a little bit more for the ones in the jetpack. Or actually, I think the jetpack might need its own Bende items. Hang on. So this one. Cut and paste. Frequency increased by a lot. Yeah, that's good. Okay, then over here. Okay, add this here. Add this here. All right. Okay, the next is the other shadows here. Something about the shadows from the jetpack are confusing me. Like something in my head is telling me this isn't the way, but I don't know how to make it the right way. Maybe I should try to go for a less is more approach, you know? On the other hand, I know minimalists and they're all losers, so maybe some kind of happy in between. Okay, then next part would be probably the jetpack strap here and here. Yeah, that's the other factor, is that sometimes I don't know whether it's like the sort of problem that'll solve itself as long as I keep finishing the piece, or if it's the kind of progress that I need to be aware of immediately and fix right then and there. It can be a little unpredictable to tell when you should deploy each stratagem. You know, yesterday during the meme redraw stream we talked some trash on what it must have been like to be like the fuck up strategist in the 2nd century warlord era. I don't know. Strategizing is harder than it sounds, I think. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that helps a little bit too. I think adding the little extra shadow there stopped throwing me off quite a lot. Okay. Yeah, patch notes on the comic. Emelian will now, for all intents and purposes, be blue. Thank you for your continued support. Teams have been auto rebalanced. Weird, messed up alien society that for somehow some reason it behaves almost exactly like the team balancing mechanics in Team Fortress 2. Like if one subspecies of the species is too many is born, like it will reassign it from Team Red to Team Blue. Remember that Dr. Seuss story where like capitalists invented discrimination for like these beasts by putting stars on their bellies? That was crazy, right? Like, I'm not the only one who thought that story was kind of crazy. Like, we can all agree that it was kind of like a wild story. I don't know. I think that story is still to some extent relevant in these days, right? Because of the fact that like once a topic is sufficiently argued back and forth with like sufficient degrees of separation from speaker to like the viewer, I don't know, like eventually it all starts to develop its own language, and so after that it's difficult to like police anything, which I feel is like the way it should be. You know, people are allowed to do whatever they want whenever they want. I don't know. I feel like Dr. Seuss's head would have exploded if you were to tell him about like tweet decking. He would have made like a whole ass rhyme about it. He would. It was kind of his job. Okay, then over here. I woke up a little early today, by accident, so I am also a little bit out of it. I don't mind too much though. I will say, like, trying to work through like sleepiness is one of the worst experiences ever, because there's no way you win. Either you do it right, and you feel like you're like trying to lift a bridge with your bare hands, or you don't try to fight it and you just do it wrong. And like when you wake up later, it's like, what the fuck was I thinking? What were they thinking? Angry video game angry video game nerd voice. Only 5 hours? What were they thinking? I will say I will probably never end up watching angry video game nerd video. I'll just let people curate clips of it for me. But it is funny, like the like the thing that the channel's most remembered for is like, what were they thinking? With like a very specific and particularly exasperated tone of voice. Because yeah, I've been there. I've been in situations where like I found myself going out loud, what are they thinking? A related thing that I've seen that isn't quite on the same wavelength, but it does have like a similar like tone of voice in my heart is this like this person was reacting like to like the news of a game studio divorcing itself from a large company. It's like, yes, go, I believe in you. And then like there immediately afterwards there was news of like it being acquired by like Microsoft or something, and he was like, no, what the fuck are you doing? Stop. Okay, grab this. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You know, at this point, I've drawn this kind of shadow to the chevron so frequently that I might be kind of goated at making like medieval style calligraphic L's. If I ever decide to get into that, I don't know. I had a calligraphy kit a long time ago, but I never ended up using it very much. Recently, there's been some discourse about people's logos. You know how some people say that like they will see a logo, they will see a lot of like similar mistakes among them. I'm hoping to go back to that thread at some point because I have been meaning to forgive the Neil Cicierega reference, redesign my logo, and unfortunately, I don't know how to do it, and there is no one here to help me do that. The way it's looking, it's like nothing is connected. But yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to be better at designing logos. Particularly, what I'm weak at is like the text component because I can make like again. This is one of the things that where Homestuck influenced me greatly is that I love making like significant symbols, but I suck at making like calligraphy for logos. If that makes sense. Like for example, I love like putting together like different symbols with different meanings and combining them in a meaningful way to create a new symbol with like with a meaning of the two combined. I love doing that. It makes me feel like it's good for me because I like get to research the like icons associated with each concept, and it's very interesting. Like for example, that's how I learned that there is like an alternate peace symbol, which is called the Roerich Pact symbol, which looks a little bit like this. It's like a little like 3-dotted ring, and I rather than for like being based on like nuclear disarmament, like the ordinary peace sign is, it's more related to the preservation of arts and culture that is ordinarily lost between warring countries due to the destruction of its civilian items, right? So that's like that's the kind of thing that I learn about when I'm trying to research for these symbols. How can I like choose the correct influences, the right cues that will remind people of the correct thing that I want them to associate with this character? Some are easier than others. And the problem is that I don't really like to use like objects in there too. I wanted it to be like purely abstract. But that has its own challenges and issues. Like at least with Homestuck, you could like pretty much tell eventually like that Dave's shirt is supposed to be a scratch record. That you eventually found out that the shirt that John wears is like some Japanese Slimer ripoff that exists in universe. Which I still think is really funny. Like for some reason, the cast of Homestuck just live in a universe where Ghostbusters was like even more widely internationally popular than it is already. Da-na-da-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I didn't eventually remember the I remember that even before I gained interest in Homestuck, which for some reason has like a Ghostbusters MMO as a plot point or as like an in-universe thing that happened. I remember I did try to like research if there was like a Ghostbusters video game or MMO around. My search sadly did not return many results. It is what it is. All right, now we need to do the gun. I messed up the gun here a little bit. Wait, no. I am fine with the gun. This is supposed to be the yellow piece, the yellow underside part of it. This part. All right. What else did I need to do? Right, the remainder of the gun. Dude. Today I saw somebody like roleplay like a medieval alchemist for a part of a tweet, and they brought up the phrase "this generation is brewed" in like the place of like "this generation is washed," and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. This generation is brewed. Have I been? Okay, no. That's good. That's good. That's important. I was worried that I've been shading on the ordinary color layer this whole time. This is all. I don't know why it's so important to me to like separate those. I think it's in case I goof on the shading and I need to redo it somehow, or for some reason, it's just easier to do it that way. But I don't know. It enters a panic into my heart whenever I realize I have not been on the ball with regards to the. Hang on. Okay, and then bump up the luminosity. Lower the frequency by a lot. Let's select pick color from layer. Here we go. All right. I think the only next part would be the background, and we can use that a little bit to emphasize that Hawk is being cornered here. I just a little bit of contour here. Maybe I should. Okay, so like I can see now the situations where like forgetting this is if I'm on the right layer might be problematic. Or it's like the blend button or blur. I think blur might be more appropriate here. Okay, then use the spray brush right here to blur that out. Perfect. It's also kind of funny because at this point I keep drawing on the wrong layer. What is my problem? Yeah, by this point I'm familiar with most of the leitmotifs in Homestuck as well, right? Like the soundtrack has so many leitmotifs because Toby Fox worked on that shit, and he loves those damn things. I don't know. It's pleasant though. It's nice seeing like the themes pop back up whenever they're relevant. It's like seeing an old friend. Like I swear to God, I've heard this in Undertale somewhere. Okay, then we're gonna add a little something to the cassette player here. Opacity, opacity, opacity. There it is. Or we might be able to like, hang on. No, I don't think that's gonna work. I was wondering if there might not be a way to like make the cassette look like it's got like a bunch of tiny holes in it, as if perhaps for some manner of port plug. But I guess I can add just like DS card, like Nintendo cartridge air holes here. Now I guess the Game Boy cartridge is the last one that had stuff like that. Truly revolutionary that between the DS and the Game Boy, we had to go from blowing the cartridge to blowing the device itself. Nowadays, you absolutely should not blow on whatever device you're using. The wisdom of the age has become obsolete. It's rather disheartening to think about, but it is what it is. Hmm. Okay, is there anything else we might be missing? The jetpack things. We are missing the jetpack components. Also, the background. I still haven't done the background, I think. Darken. Frequency a little bit less than what it is right now. There we go. That's about right. Also, hang on. One of the shadows on the Hawk's helmet is bugging me. Can I almost like, hang on. I want to try something real quick. Liquefy, twist, this direction, wrong. This direction, also wrong. Huh, okay. Yeah, I think it's having the second line here that's throwing me off. Okay, then over here, shrink that down by 5. Like this. Something about, hang on, maybe it's the shadow on this part here. I don't know, something about this is like really throwing me. I don't know why. Okay, shrink this down by 5 pixels, then bring that over here. Ooh, I like this. Hang on, I enjoy what we're doing here. Let's have more of this, yeah. Hmm. All right. May I need to do something with this part too. I think that might be what's throwing me off as well. This helmet is so goddamn complicated. Who designed this thing? Oh wait, that's me. No, that's not quite right. Nope. Nope. Yes? Hang on. Okay, move this over here. How do I blend this? Where's the blend button? Blur? Close enough. Alright. I think it's working. It feels like it's working. Hang on, I've got an idea for how to do the background. Select, color gamut, this one here. Let's try that again. Yeah, there we go. And then maybe what we can do as a little added bonus is to have like almost like a pitch black cross hatching right over here. I have a really good one for this. Okay, now maybe pure black. Let me do this on a separate layer so I can like color correct later. Just a Molly pen on this section here. And again, just like one last pass over here. I think maybe I can make Emilian's face look a little bit more menacing with just one simple trick, and that is to shade the top part of her eyebrows over here. Not shave, shade. Just to clarify, I'm not shaving her eyebrows willy-nilly. Okay. Over here. I don't know how to make it have like more urgency on like Hawk's side. Maybe like have it be like green, kind of like. This is the wrong layer to do this on. Also, hang on. Select, filter, color gamut. I just need to like crop and paste. Not a real term. The rest of this, and then we should be clear to Baja Blast. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Alright, then what we might be able to do is use the liquefy tool. GPU be damned, my boy. This thing can liquefy the hell out of hatching. Okay, then over here. Alright, let's try this. Or maybe I need to like make it a more urgent color, like red. And then maybe we duplicate this. Ooh, that's a very nice red, but it's a little too strong. So maybe we use a little bit of light eraser around where Emilian's parts are. And then instead of having the two lines be like this, I want to make Emilian's face even more threatening. Let me try something. Okay, so maybe use this. That's a gradient erase, don't need that. Missed a spot here, let me go back. My brain is like going really fast trying to figure out how to make this work. I can feel it working. Okay, maybe not that much. Okay, and then over here, we just slowly go and grab this part here. Okay, and then over here. Over here. Nope. Now, something about it just isn't clicking. Unless, hang on. No, it's something about this. What is not? I need to flip the canvas. This is exactly the kind of situation that flipping the canvas is made for. Honestly, I think what's also throwing me off is that it doesn't feel like there's enough going on with like the shadows that Emelian has. Like they just feel a little bit boring. Hmm. I've got a secondary idea of like what we can do with this. I have there is like a I can feel it. I have there is a way forward with this. If I just kind of reach over and use this. What's like glow or soft light or something like that. All these are too like hang on. Hang on, I have an idea that might make this work a little better. We have Emelian's shadow come in over here. Hang on. How do I do this? I guess it only needs to be the rough shape, so I guess it's fine if I just try to trace it over with the lasso tool. Also, I need to do something about those lips. The shading on the lips makes no sense. Okay, gonna add a little bit of light right around here. Much, much better. Already, like, way better. Okay, perfect. Okay, then, well, for this thing. Up saturation, lowered luminosity. Looking a little flaky there. So let's try to fix up the silhouette a little. And of course, gotta have Amelian's huge elf ears. Yeah, let's try a couple different blending modes to see if there's any one of them that speak to me. If not, we might just leave it as is. Also, these action lines have got to be replaced by something else. Okay, we gotta make these lines a little thinner. Thankfully, there is technology for that much. I should save my work. Oh man, there's a couple of action lines over here too. These will show up much better in white. I might be able to get away with using some traditional action lines over here, actually. You know, yesterday that I've done that Mashal panel. I wonder if it might be possible to, like... Maybe I need to do these in white, too. It's possible. I just need to use a smaller pen. Darnation. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. So, hang on. Maybe it might be more effective if I use, like, the shaded shadow color for the skin here. Also, I need to use a bigger brush. These, like, hair-thin lines are not working for me. kind of got an idea. I want to try something. I might need to use slightly thinner outlines, so maybe like 2 pixels. And thicker lines, too. Quite the balancing act this is. Nope, that's not working. I've always wanted to do that. I always wanted to just kind of go ham with it. I don't know. Maybe if I... No, that doesn't make sense at all. The more flowy action lines that I did earlier make more sense. Maybe I just need to rework those. Let me loosen up my wrists a little bit. Does it need the outline is my question. No, that just makes it look like she's... I mean, hang on. Unless... Heavens above, I don't know how to make this look any tighter than it already is. Unless... Hang on. Okay. Getting somewhere. I think. Hang on, I've got an idea for how to for like what the final touch this thing might need is. And then maybe like this. And instead of it coming upward, it can come from below to show that it's like her hand doing like that. There has to be a better way to do this. This also fixes another issue that I had with this, which it was that her shoulder looked a little bit too big. Okay, I think we might have found the right call here. All right, let's take a look at how this looks. Perhaps there's a way that I can like begin to introduce this, or maybe like the shift between this and this is like too stark. I think, or may hang on. It does look a little too stark, but I think I have a way to resolve that. Let me try. Let's try this. Reverse her. Reverse this. How's that? God, there's so many layers of this panel. It's crazy. Not quite what I was looking for. Let's try again. Okay, I think. Let me take a look at it from far away. I think that's good. I think we got this page locked. I still kind of want to introduce the effect here a little bit. Maybe if I kind of reach over here and okay, then over here. There's layers a million on. Okay, an interesting challenge. But I think we can work with it. Okay, hang on. Select, color gamut. Get the computer components out of the way. Hold on, I think I'm confusing them. Wait, I think what it might be easier is to just select this color gamut, isn't it? Wouldn't it be? All right, so let's try this. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, select color from layer, and then just use this. Yeah, okay, that works. Let it rock. Hmm. I think that would be a good day to call it for now. I am pretty happy with what we've done. All right. I'm just gonna end it here. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your day. Later. Bye.